The arena fell silent as Vexthul the Devourer stepped into the crimson sand. His massive form cast shadows across the Colosseum floor, 8 feet of rippling muscle and chitinous armor that had torn through countless challengers. Razor-sharp, claws extended from his forearms, each one capable of rending steel. The crowd of various alien species roared their approval. The Predator King had arrived for another execution. Across the arena, a small figure emerged from the opposite gate. The audience's cheers died into confused murmurs. It was a human child, no more than 12 standard years old, with messy brown hair and clothes that looked more suited for a playground than a deathmatch. She carried no weapons, wore no armor, and seemed utterly unaware of the 30,000 spectators watching her walk calmly toward certain doom. What is the meaning of this? Vexthul's voice boomed across the arena, his translator rendering his snarls into Galactic standard. I am the apex predator of 7 star systems. I have devoured the champions of 100 worlds. You dare mock me with this infant? The child, Sarah Chen from the human colony ship Endurance, looked up at the towering alien with curious eyes. She tilted her head slightly, studying him the way she might examine an interesting bug in her grandmother's garden back on Earth. You're really big, she said simply, her voice carrying clearly in the sudden hush. But you move wrong. Vexthul's mandibles clicked in fury. The audacity of this tiny creature. He had requested the strongest human warrior as his next challenger, and instead they sent him a child who barely reached his knee. It was an insult that demanded blood. I will make your death swift, little one, he growled, crouching into his hunting stance. You should not have been brought here. Sarah shrugged. Mom says I shouldn't be lots of places, but here I am. She glanced around the arena with the same casual interest she might show at a school assembly. Are we gonna start soon? I have homework. The crowd erupted in laughter at the absurd sight. Even some of the bloodthirsty Cretan warriors were chittering in amusement. But their mirth died when Vexthul launched himself forward with predatory grace, covering 30 feet in a single bound, all 4 claws aimed at the small human's torso. Sarah took 1 step to the left. Vexthul crashed into the arena wall with bone-jarring force, chunks of reinforced concrete raining down around him. The crowd fell dead silent. The Predator King had never missed a strike, never. He spun around, eyes blazing with fury and confusion. The child stood exactly where she had been, except now she was 3 feet to the left, still looking mildly bored. You telegraph everything, Sarah observed, dusting off her school jacket. Like, really obviously. You bunch up your back muscles. Before you jump, your left eye twitches when you're about to swipe with your right arms, and you always lean on your left foot when you're planning to go right. My little brother moves less predictably than you, and he's only 6. Vexthul snarled and attacked again, this time with a complex pattern of strikes that had taken down a Therilian war beast in seconds. Sarah swayed between the claws like she was dancing to music only she could hear, each movement minimal and precise. She didn't even look particularly rushed. See? There you go again, she said as Vexthul's final strike whistled past her ear. You commit to every attack completely. That's why you can't adjust when someone moves. You should keep your center of gravity more neutral and... The Predator King's roar shook dust from the arena ceiling. This was impossible. His combat instincts had been honed over centuries of warfare. He was evolution's perfect killing machine. He launched into a berserker frenzy, all 4 arms moving in a whirlwind of death. For 30 seconds, the arena filled with the whistle of claws through air and the thunder of missed strikes hitting stone. Through it all, Sarah moved like water, like wind, like she was playing the galaxy's most casual game of dodgeball. When Vexthul finally collapsed, heaving from exhaustion, not a single claw had touched her. Are you done? Sarah asked. She wasn't even breathing hard. Because I think I figured out your problem. The crowd sat in stunned silence as this 12-year-old human walked up to the most feared predator in 3 sectors and patted his massive arm consolingly. You're not actually that good at fighting, she said with the brutal honesty only children possessed. You're just really big and scary looking. So most people panic and make mistakes. But fighting scared is how you lose. My dad taught me that. He was in the Colony Defense Force. He said fear makes you stupid and stupid gets you dead. Vexthul stared at her, his mind reeling. In 5 minutes, this tiny human had dismantled everything he thought he knew about combat. But you're really strong, Sarah continued brightly, and you've got great reflexes under all those bad habits. I bet if someone taught you properly, you could be amazing. Want me to show you? And that was how the Predator King learned that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology, their cunning, or their adaptability, though those were formidable enough. It was their children, who could look at the most terrifying monster in the galaxy and see not a threat to flee from, but a puzzle to solve. By the time the stunned arena guards arrived to intervene, Sarah was patiently explaining footwork to an 8-foot alien death machine who hung on her every word like a devoted student. The crown, metaphorically speaking, had changed heads, and the new teacher was just getting started.